to be a father, to be an honorable man who takes care of his family, it can get messy. And so today, being an unusual day anyway, I have some unusual stories to share. They're from the Bible. Now, if you know me, you know I don't go to the Bible like ever. But these stories were so on point around fathers and the complexity of it that they really struck me. The first one is Abraham and Isaac, father and son. Abraham gets this voice speaking to him, going, I'm God, and I'm telling you that I want you to take your son, take him up to this spot, and sacrifice him. And Abraham, who thinks of himself as an honorable man, and in many ways is, says, I got to do this if this is what God wants. Grabs his son and all the different things he needs to sacrifice his son at the sacred site, pulls him up there, and all the while Isaac is asking, so where's the lamb? Where's the lamb? I see the knife and I see all the other ritual stuff. Where's the lamb? And they get up there, and it's the first time Isaac realizes that he's the lamb and gets tied down and watches his father tie him down, watches his father raise the blade to kill him. Because Isaac has seen what happens to the lambs. And only in the last second does this same voice come out and go, you've proven your worth, you don't need to kill your son. And so some people think, okay, that's then happily ever after they went on. But where was Isaac in this? Seeing his dad raise a knife to him, seeing his dad standing for duty but not for taking care of him, that's complicated. Was the dad unhonorable? It goes both ways. It's not clean. It's not clear. Given all that went down in the Bible and everything that came because Abraham started this religion called, back then it was called Hebrew. Today we call it Judaism. Maybe that's the other way around. I don't remember right now. But either way, so much came from that event. And yet, it's complicated. And so then there's this other story. David. Everybody knows the story of David and Goliath. David was, after killing Goliath, he becomes this great king that leads the Jewish people through this flourishing era, building this huge kingdom. And it wrote all these poems. You know, he was a poet, and he was this king and this leader. And there's this other story in the Bible about his son Absalom, who he didn't treat very well. He didn't treat him very well at all, to the point at which Absalom decides to rebel against his dad and take over the kingdom. Puts together an army to fight his dad. You got to be pretty pissed off at your dad to go get an army to want to go fight like that. This was a complicated relationship about a man who everybody admires throughout history and the ages. And so they're about to go to battle. And David turns to his leaders, his generals, and says, please do not kill my son. I love my son. I understand he's pissed, but I don't want him dead. But battle is as battle does. And Absalom gets killed. His son gets killed in the battle. So are we here to say that makes David not an honorable man? Because it was complicated. Was Abraham not an honorable man? It's complicated. It's not so cut and dry. I raised my son the best I could. And yet, I come from a history of violence. My grandfather told us stories about him getting beaten with a cat of nine tails as a kid. My dad told me stories about him getting beat with a belt. Me, I was beat with a hand. I hit my son once, and only once, but boy did I yell at him violently. And so our relationship got very complicated. But because I'm in this teaching, I want to learn, I want to grow, I worked on it with him year after year. And there were times, even when Ash was around, at the time when Ash and I were, I didn't hear from him for months. He wouldn't return my calls, didn't want to talk to me, but I kept at it. I wanted healing here to take place. And so over time, what happened is by giving him space, by understanding his pain, I spent the last 10 years or more apologizing for how I treated him as a kid. Our relationship grew. The last time my son got me a Father's Day gift, I think he was 10, 12, somewhere in there. And he just sent me the coolest Father's Day gift, wanting me to know how much he appreciates me as his father, which astounds me given what he grew up with, but astounds me more by what's possible in creation and healing. But it's complicated. So he sends me this gift, and now we talk 3 times a week. I mean, we're on the phone with each other all the time. We have this great relationship now. And so I want to bring that complexity to our ritual. And I want to be clear that no one can judge a man. I mean, you can, and people do all the time. So let me say no one can judge, because we're all judging everybody always. That's what's happening, right? That's the actuality of it. But what I want, and something I practice a lot, because as a spiritual leader, I notice I get judged a lot. What I do well, what I do badly, what I did right, what I did wrong, this and that and the other thing. And what I have to keep coming back to is what's true for me? What's true here? How do I feel about me in the midst of how anyone else might be feeling? Because that's important that you are able to do that. Come back to yourself. In the midst of criticism, in the midst of people telling you, you should have done better, or you should have done this, or you should have been a better dad. Only you know what you really went through. And so when I say we're about to do a ritual for fathers, people of honor, it's only you who gets to decide that today. But I want you to decide it from a place of complexity, not simplicity. Not a place of, I did this wrong and I wasn't as good a dad as I could have been. That isn't the place to judge. You got to look at the larger picture here for yourself. I do, all the time. Given one of the things that I am always putting into perspective for myself, however I might behave now, is knowing how much better I behave than I used to. That's a really important perspective for me. There's ways in which I'm a friggin' miracle. Even though it doesn't seem that way all the time. And I know there are others here like that too, because if you have a sense of yourself where you wish you had done better, that is you growing. That is in of itself you saying, yes, I want to be a better man. So what I want now is for the men who think of themselves as honorable fathers who took care of their families. And remember, it's not the feedback you've gotten around that. See it for yourself. Please stand and take a place around the room. Come on, guys. Be generous with yourself here. Spread out. Please spread out. It's a small crowd today. All right. What I would appreciate from the rest of you is to be willing to participate in this ritual of thanking these good men. So obviously there's lots more of you than them. Start out by standing in front of one of them and then fill in the spaces because we're going to be shifting around here. Stand in front of somebody, one of these men, and everybody else who wants to participate, please take a spot. You may have a complicated relationship with your dad that I'm hoping that doesn't get in your way of appreciating these dads. Bill, I'd like you on the floor, come on. Here's another good man. Somebody stand in front of this man up here, please. Make sure everybody's covered. Okay, put up the slide. Ah, there it is. Good. All right. What you're going to do is look up at the slide and see what it says. Thank you for being an honorable man and taking care of your family. You're going to say this to that person, and then you're going to move on to the next person whenever you can finally get there, because obviously there's more of you than the men. And we're going to go around the room. We're going to go that way. Clockwise, thank you. Clockwise. This way. Are we clear? All right, so I have a few more instructions. Please listen up. Please listen up. Men are horrible at taking good feedback. And so what's important here is to not make a joke about this. You look in their eyes. Men, this is your opportunity to do something you don't normally do. Take it in. Let them look in your eyes. Don't grab for them. Don't hold them. Just let them speak to you. Take it in. This is not something you do well. This is your chance to practice. In fact, I'm going to step down and do it too, because I need to practice. And so, say it to the men, move to the next one, you will get there. And we'll keep going while these wonderful musicians play a song, sans drummer, which means without, in some language, I don't remember. Okay, go. All right, we're back. As we close around the first part, there is a second part. As many of you know, I go out to Elk Island, spend some time out there with the bison. I've spent some time in Native American customs recognizing the importance of the bison, how it gives all of itself to life. I think there is no better creature on this planet that represents family than the bison. And so Ash and I, we put together these little packets with buffalo hair, sage, as a reminder and a symbolic representation of what you as an honorable man stand for. So if you're standing in front of a man, please come up here and get one of these and go give it to him. If you've got a specific relationship with one of the men here, I would highly recommend you be the one to go do that guy. You can come down and do that if you want. If you want.
I'm going to take two because I don't think then anyone's going to be standing in front. I'll do Kenny and then I'll get someone to do.
I think somebody's doing Kenny.
Well,
Giving this to you. This is for you.
May I take one from Michael?
Will you come here, please? Grab one of these and give it to your husband, will you? What? Everybody covered? If you are, am I on? Yeah. So now, if you are here and your hubby, spouse, partner is someplace else, and you think of them as an honorable man, feel free to come get one for them. No, Mitch isn't a dad. This is for dads. This is for dads. This is for dads. No. No, we're not done. We're getting there. Okay. This one's mine. So now, men, stay where you are. Take your buckle pouch, put it at your heart. Put it at your heart. Make sure there's still women or other people. Make sure you're standing in front of one of these men. Make sure everybody's got somebody standing in front of you. And I want you to say these words to the person standing in front of you. You ready? Men, repeat after me. Thank you for receiving me as an honorable man. I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a seat. This one's mine. All right. Okay, you can go back to your drums now. Whether it's fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, friends, community, I don't know if you've noticed, but relationships are complicated. They all hold so much richness in them. Intimacy, our ability to be intimate with another, opens us up to a vulnerability that can be scary, can hurt, but also has so much awe, beauty, and wonder in it. And so that's the opportunity here. That's the opportunity we look at every day when we're interacting with anybody. Is how open-hearted can we be in that moment? And sometimes, not so much. Because that's part of the complication too. That sometimes we're defensive. Sometimes we lose our way. Sometimes we interpret. Sometimes we think we've been done wrong, been trespassed. The thing is, that's part of relationship too. It's messy. But when we can be there with all of it, ultimately there is love. And that's what's possible for each of us. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you for receiving this ritual. All right.